So hello everybody, this is Russell Saunders for Let's Get Racing, and I'm joined by apprentice jockey Sam Feilden. Sam rode Tipperary Tiger for us at Doncaster. Sam, thank you very much for joining us. Pleasure to have you here. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Russ. So I'm 19. This is my first year with a apprentice license. I'm based with Julia Feilden, my auntie in Newmarket there, and I'm just looking to try and ride as many winners as I can, really.
Sure. So how many winners do you have on the board so far?
Just the one. Had about 40 rides now, and just the one winner. So yeah, hopefully we can get a few more on the board.
Sure. And so you've been riding for your auntie Julia Feilden, and when we were chatting before, you said you've got some relatives who are in racing other than your aunt. Just tell us a little bit about them.
Yeah, so I'm sort of born and bred into racing, really. My cousin Ross is an amateur jockey, mainly because of his height. He can never do the weights of an apprentice, and he's also my agent as well. He's got about 3 or 4 jobs, so he's very busy. And then Shelley Burkett and Adam Beskizer are my other 2 cousins, and Adam's flying in America at the minute, riding winners left, right, and centre there. And Shelley's just recently retired from race riding, but she rode over 100 winners. Was a fully fledged jockey, won black type races. So she was very established. So yeah, I was born and bred into it, really.
So is there a bit of sibling and family rivalry amongst everybody in terms of how well their kids are doing, how well you and your cousins are doing?
Well, I've got a long way to go yet, so I'm quite down on the radar at the minute. So I've got to work my way up.
Okay. Well, do you want to tell us a little bit about what it's like riding as an apprentice? So obviously, to tell some of our members about the fact that as an apprentice, you know, you're linked to one particular stable, in your case, your Aunt Julia's. Just sort of tell us about your average day, what it looks like.
So I'd get into work for 6, so my alarm would go 5:30, and I'd be in work at 6. I'd muck out as soon as I get there, and then ride out, usually 4 lots, 4 or 5 lots, and then get done about 12, and then we'll give them a good brush and check them over before we leave. Make sure the horse is all right, extra feed, water, hay, all that, and we usually get done about 1, and then I'd get home and I'd go straight to the gym. We're very lucky now at Newmarket. We've got a gym that's recently been installed at the racing school, Peter O'Sullivan, and I'd go there. You see a jockey coach as well on a weekly basis. Just try and improve as much as you can. Then you get back to the yard at 4 for evening stables, and you check all your horses over, give them a nice comfy bed, wrap them up, make sure they're warm in these cold temperatures, and you get done usually around 5:30, 6. And in the evening, well, I suppose you're in bed by 8 and 9 because you're flat out, so haven't got much of a social life anyway, but we wouldn't change it for anything, no.
It makes me feel a little bit better as an old man, Sam, that actually you beat me to bed. So in my mid-40s, and I'm just about staying up longer than you. I mean, obviously, as an apprentice, what some people won't realise is that as well as race riding, as you've just described, you have a full set of duties to do at the stable, as well as keeping yourself fit for race riding. You're riding out, but also mucking out and helping with the general care of the horses. Can you say a little bit about maybe some of the challenges of being an apprentice? What is some of the stuff that is most difficult about it?
Well, I suppose they're very long days, and you don't get many days off, especially as an apprentice. Your aim is to try and get rides, and the only way you're going to get rides is if you work hard and just keep your head down. They're not going to come free. You've got to work for it, and prove yourself. But I like that. I like the fact, that you have got to work hard, and every jockey's, we're all in the same boat, aren't we? We're all wanting rides, so you've got to prove that you're able to ride, and that they can rely on you. So yeah, it's long days, but I wouldn't change it for anything. It's all I've ever wanted to do, and yeah, it's just sort of tunnel vision, really. You if you don't love it, don't do it, because you have to love the sport and love the horses, I feel, to do it. Yeah.
Sure. And you mentioned that you work with a jockey coach. I think many of the members in the club will know a bit about coaching, but can you maybe say what your jockey coach specifically works with you on, and what the stuff that he or she is helping to develop?
So upcoming rides, you'd always go through your rides with your jockey coach, and you'll discuss tactics, draws, how the horses are ridden, everything like that, and you get on the simulator, practice technique, always look to improve. It's very good for fitness as well, and they're so important. It's so good that we have these jockey coaches now. I mean, these days we've got everything, so you've got to use it. It's up to you to use it, and it's there. It's so good for us young jockeys. It's like a free access, if you like, because they've been there, they've done it, and it's great to seek their advice.
So all the coaches are ex-jockeys, or yeah. And who's your coach?
John Bramhill. Yeah, he rode a good few winners, won some big handicaps, rode for a lot of people. Very nice man, and I get on very well with him.
And maybe because of the stuff that he's working on for you, what would you say are your strengths and perhaps your areas for improvement in terms of your riding?
Yeah, I think tactically, I'm all right. I go through all my races, and I like to know what every other horse is doing, and you see the pace of the race, how it's going to unfold. Obviously, the gates open, anything can happen at the end of the day. But I feel like if you do your form, your research, you're always one step ahead, aren't you? And yeah, I like to think I'm quite switched on with what's going on. But of course, you always look to improve in the finish, and you look at people like, I look up to William Buick. I think he's so good when he's in a finish, and you're inspired to look like that. So that's why I like to work up to one day be like someone as strong and stylish as William Buick would be nice. Yeah.
So maybe say for those of our members who they'll know who William Buick is in many cases, the nearly champion jockey this time around, and Godolphin's retained rider. So one of the largest stables retained rider. What is it that you admire about him in a finish? Tell us something about the techniques that he's using.
He's so strong, but he's so effective, and it's like when he rides a finish, it's like he's one with the horse, if you know what I mean. Sometimes you can pick out jockeys that riding the finish, and that they're riding the finish, but they're not with the horse. They're just sort of on top of it. But he's one with the horse. A bit like Frankie Dettori, the way he's just so natural, and yeah, I suppose it comes naturally to him, but it looks pretty good anyway, doesn't it?
Sure. I mean, I'm sure he's worked really hard at it. I'm sure that there's some innate ability, some natural ability. I know his dad's a jockey and was a jockey in Norway or Denmark, I believe.
Yeah, Walter. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are some genes maybe that help him, but like you, I think it's an amazing quality that he has around the balance that he's on with the horse, and the ability that he has to sink behind the girth, but also get the horse propelled forward. It's wonderful to watch. So you've had the 40 rides, you've had the one winner so far. I've got an idea that there's going to be some goals that you've set with your coach or for yourself. What's next? What would you like to be doing? What's the ambition for the all-weather season, or the flat season when it kicks off again in a few months' time?
Yeah, I think it is quite hard to set personal goals, because it's a very up and down game, and I feel like you set actual goals, it's sort of imprinted in your mind then that you have to reach them, and if you don't, it gets you down, and it just sort of it drags you down. So I think it's better to take each day as it comes. As we all know, horses aren't machines, and there will be disappointments along the way. So as long as you don't get too high when it goes right and too low when it goes bad, it will be all right. And I just want to knuckle down, ride as much as I can, learn as much as I can, take everything on board, have the right people around me, and we'll try and get as many winners as we can. hopefully things will open up a bit in the winter and a few more doors might open up and we can take that next step forward, if you like.
Do you ride out for anybody else other than Julia, or who else do you ride out for?
Yeah, I try to get about as much as I can. I've been into Colbert's, Simon Dow's, I've been into Epsom, been to Mike Murphy's up in Essex Way, and then Newmarket Trainers. I've tried get my head into a few places. Been into Gay Callaway's. So yeah, I've tried getting about, and you know it's always good to put your face into places and try and get to know your name.
For sure. And so, who do you think you might be riding for over the winter, over the all weather?
Well, hopefully my connection with Carl Burke might strengthen up. I'm due to go there on the 29th of November, and you know, hopefully we can get things going there a bit. Hopefully Julia will continue to use me, as we are family. But
I hope so.
Yeah, that would be nice anyway. But she wouldn't have too many for the winter anyway. She quietens down and they go on a break, so she'd only have about 10 in training for the winter months anyway. And we'll see. You know, I've rode for Joe Parr, Rod Millman, and hopefully I could ride some of theirs, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know that all of the club wish you all the best for the future career that lays ahead of you, and some immediate success would be great. Obviously, I'm sure it'll come. Is there any horses that you're particularly looking forward to riding? Anyone that you can pinpoint, perhaps in training with Julia, that you really like or you've enjoyed being sat on?
Well, here's Sadie. I suppose she'll always hold a special place in my heart. She was my first winner. She had a bit of a niggly problem after her last run, so she's had a bit of a time off. And she had one run, back on the 19th there at Yarmouth, where she was 5th and just sort of blew up. She come to win her race and just got a bit tired. She'll come on for that, and I think the plan with her is that she will run on the all weather. And I still think she's well handicapped to win. So I'm sure she'll win another one or two, hopefully. In Graves, another one I've rode a few times. She's handicapped to win now. I'll keep an eye on her. She loves it around Chelmsford. I always keep an eye when she runs around Chelmsford because she's won 4 times down there.
Okay.
And hopefully there's a few more. The horse I rode for Carl Burke there, Tipperary Tiger. Hopefully he can come back to form. It was disappointing how he ran at Donny, but you know, it was his 4th run in just over a month, and maybe he just got a bit tired, but he's still only a 3-year-old. That was against the older horses. It was always going to be tough, so hopefully, you know, he'll come back as a 4-year-old, strengthen up both physically and mentally, and he's still quite lightly raced because he's only had the 9 runs, so hopefully you guys can have a bit more fun with him.
Well, we hope we do, and we hope you have a great all-weather campaign ahead of you and into the flat season beyond that. So, Sam, thank you ever so much for your time. Thanks for joining us, and we hope to see S. Feilden with plenty of wins next to his name next time we speak. Cheers, Sam.
Thanks, Russ. Thank you very much. Pleasure.